Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are navigating the crazy world of authorship. Whether you're just starting out or already established, we want to help you navigate the publishing world with confidence. My name is Larissa Soehn, and this channel is brought to you by Next Page Publishing. With the help of our industry partners, we bring you the insights on the most challenging yet most rewarding parts of being an authorpreneur, along with the actionable tips to help you move your brand and your business forward. Don't forget to download your free copy of our book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, by visiting nextpagepublishing.net/author your way. Let's meet our next guest. Welcome to another episode of I Wrote That. My name is Larissa Soehn, and I am your host. And today is very exciting because we have peek behind the curtains look at Next Page Publishing. Today, I have my COO, Erin Woods, and I'm very excited to have her. So, Erin, I will let you introduce yourself because no one's going to do it better than you do.
Thanks, Larissa, for having me today. I am very excited, both as a COO and having a long-term relationship with you, to come on your podcast today to kind of, like you said, give a peek behind the curtain, but a little bit about myself too, because I think having an introduction to people who are in leadership roles is totally underrated. And so that's why I'm super stoked to be here today. A little bit about myself. I have a background in journalism and marketing and communications from my studies way back in the day. We're not going to date myself with that kind of knowledge, but I love what I do. I've worked in every kind of industry, whether it's hospitality, oil and gas, law, non-for-profits, tons of volunteer stuff around the board kind of deal. But there's always been a focus for me, whether it's just a job for the meantime or a job that's going to take me into the next kind of role within what I love to do, which is writing and copy editing and website design. So I kind of have my hands in a little bit of everything because I love it that way. I jokingly always call myself jack of all trades, master of none. And we've talked about that before, where you don't really need to be the expert in everything, but if you're really good at a lot of different things, it really diversifies you. So that's always been my belief in that side of things. And that's why I have lots of jobs between being COO and copy line editor for Next Page as well on that side. And then I have my own company as a website designer. I do a little bit of graphic design for fun, a little bit of social media marketing for fun. And then I also get out and about in the community that I live in as a bartender, server, volunteer board member. Yeah, I like to keep it fresh and exciting. Oh, and I love to be a beekeeper. And that's my main source of joy. It's not by any means a moneymaker, but it's paying dividends in soul upkeep, I would say. And I would always akin my beekeeping to my vibe check. So if my bees are unhappy with me, I know that I've got to recenter myself. It's a little bit of balance of both. Yeah, I live in central Alberta, so I'm big into the Berta vibes, as it were, in terms of being a country bumpkin a little bit. And I love living in the middle of nowhere on my acreage with my kiddo and many pets and lots of great neighbors.
And you're in a band, right? I know
Well,
you
yeah.
casually dropped that a couple times. She's like, "Oh, my band's got a gig this weekend." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yes. Yeah, we do have a band. I think we've settled on the band name Beer and Diesel. So
Oh, that's so Alberta.
it is so
Congratulations.
Alberta. It's the best kind, but there's a little bit of a band inside joke about that, but we're gonna keep that one to ourselves because we got to keep a little mystery alive. But yeah, it's just kind of came about last summer, actually. I wanted to play at a friend's little shindig, local to do, if you will, barn burner. And I convinced my buddies who play guitar and drum to join me as the vocalist, and we played for the open mic portion and did 4 songs and had a blast and didn't take ourselves too seriously. And we still don't, obviously, with the name. We definitely don't take ourselves too seriously. But we're just a group of folks trying to have fun, a couple jam sessions a year, and then maybe sharing it with friends and family that we like. So it's a good time.
That's amazing. I think you touched on so many things that make you a good fit for a COO position and also being an entrepreneur. It's that jack of all trades. But you brought it back with the band of like not taking ourselves too seriously, of learning for the sake of learning because we're curious and we want to know more, but we don't need to get it to perfection. We don't need to master the skill to the point where we can sell it for millions, kind of a thing. And I think that's how, Next Page really got started, was my curiosity to learn more about what the publishing industry looked like, figure out how the different aspects played together, the writing coaching with the editing, how could we make that partnership better for our authors, and then even the writing with the design and the planning with the marketing team and all of these things. It took a very base knowledge on my part to understand how it all linked together. But then it was my job to sort of say, okay, I'm not actually I'm not great at all of these things. I'm okay at best. So who can I go to tap who is great? And that's really how Next Page, the team as it stands today, the group of contract editors and designers and you and our internal staff all came together because eventually I just had to say, okay, I'm not good at all of these things. These authors, they deserve great when it comes to their books and their brand centerpieces. So I know you and I have talked a lot about the hiring strategy and how we do find our connections and our relationships with our contractors, with our internal staff. And I know you have some really cool insights on that from an entrepreneur's perspective. How do you forge those relationships to create something that is really worthy of your brand?
There's a lot to unpack there, really, and I agree. It's never going to be perfect, and I think you're right with how I don't take myself too seriously with the band and stuff, and we just kind of roll with it. We're not trying for perfection because we actually just want to enjoy ourselves. And I think that's where you've done a really good job with Next Page, is identifying, okay, there's too much going on. I want to be happy in what I'm doing, and I need to bring people in who are happy doing the stuff I don't want to do. And I think that's the root cause of most hiring. And there's always a better way to do it in terms of hiring too. But I think having those connections you already have in your back pocket, because you know those people, you have those relationships with them, you know their work ethic, you know what they're good at, is always a better way, in my opinion, for hiring to find the right people, because those are the recommendations you have and the knowledge you already have to kind of know if someone's going to be a good fit for things. What I, as an entrepreneur, have noticed is it's really hard to give up the reins to anything. I am a little bit of needing to be in control all the time. And I think you can feel that too and speak to that,
Mm-hmm.
where
Very much.
it's, I don't want to give up the reins. I don't know if you're going to do it as well as I am. What if it all crashes and burns? All of those self-depreciating thoughts of no one can ever do it better than I can is how businesses fail, especially entrepreneurs, because you don't take your ego out of it for a second and say, listen, if I don't bring somebody in, it will crash and burn because I can't be the expert in everything. And I've had to take a step back. So there's two ways to do it, right? Where you hired people like me and like our internal team to say, okay, we've got to scale up. Or you do what I did with my web business. It's just me right now. And when I feel the pressure and the overwhelm too much, I just scale it back a little bit. But I also have that opportunity because I have other irons in the fire, as it were, at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a little bit of that balance and that choice of, I don't need to scale up. I just need to be happy with what I'm doing right now and know that if I want to, I need to employ the right people. Take my beekeeping, for example. That's a different one where it's, okay, I'm still doing it for fun, but I also know it's a ton of work during the high season. So instead of per se paying people or hiring somebody, I have a lot of people who just want to learn beekeeping, but don't want to take that big initial step into that kind of work and that business. So I bring in those people who just want to learn and can be the heavy lifters for when I need it, when I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the honey pulls for every season. So there's also that method where you're not really trying to make it too big and you want to share your knowledge in a way that other people can also do it if they want to. And I really like that way too. But for Next Page, I'm super grateful that we've had now a 3-year relationship where it was, I came in on your first fiction book, and that was really exciting to see your first book baby be born. And I was so proud and I was so excited to get on the pre-sale list. And then when it came in, I was like, I don't even have to read it. I've reviewed it, but I'm going to read it anyways.
Yes, that's a wild time to. One of our clients is publishing her book on the January 21st, and it's been a long time coming. We've worked together, Casey Kindle. We've worked together for just over a year, just about a year actually. She hit the 1 year mark, and she posted a video the other day of her opening her books for the first time, and you kind of forget. As a published author, as a publisher as well, what that first touch feel is like. And to see Casey capture it on camera and to watch that joy light up. And I think what you're describing, Erin, is it's not just the author's joy when there's relationships built around the book, right? The book doesn't have to be a lonely or an isolating journey that you do by yourself. You can have a whole team of people behind you cheering just as loud, if not louder, for you when you finally open that book. And I mean, yeah, having you there from the ground up of my author career has been incredible because you have been behind the scenes of an entire evolution of a company, of a brand, of a human, basically, of everything I went through to get to this spot. You've been there for all of it.
On the sidelines cheering you on from afar, always.
Yes, you don't need to be in the spotlight, and I don't need to be in the spotlight either, but I sure as heck want to be behind the people that are, the
Yeah.
people that just thrive under that light.
Right. And I think that speaks to when you're building a team like ours too. All of us want to be here because we're celebrating, right? We just had our team retreat this week, and being in a virtual escape room with people who were just like, I'm gonna go off here and here. We were all congratulating each other and encouraging each other, and no one was stepping on each other's toes. We were just there to enjoy being around each other and then celebrate at the end together. And there was no awkwardness around that. It was just full joy for everybody involved in the process. And I think there's something to be said to that where, I have been part of your evolution from the start. And sometimes you have those people who see your journey and they're not always going to be, there's a little bit of FOMO that sometimes happens. And I've never felt that. And I think our
Mhm.
team will never feel that too, because we're always pushing each other to be better and holding each other on those pedestals when maybe we don't feel like we fit there yet or we don't belong there yet because the self-doubt is real.
Oh my gosh, imposter
But
syndrome. I need a
right,
shirt that says like, no, I can do this. Jesus. So every time I look in a mirror, I see it.
we need I can do this and we people too. I think that's going to be our
Yeah.
mantra for a long time with X Page. Is
Yes.
always remembering that we're not robots, we're people too, and we want both our clients to know that, but we have to remind ourselves of that too. Of okay, when we're looking at how our company is functioning, how our relationships are personally and professionally, are we recognizing that we're people too, and pulling that in back into our core value of knowing that if it doesn't feel right, we're not doing it. It's not
Hmm.
making sense for us anymore.
Yeah, just to give like our listeners a little bit of a background into that, one of the next page values. When I grew this company, I had to start getting the values that are in my head out onto paper, and so I created our values list. And one of them was people first, profit second. We would always put the person ahead of the dollar sign, basically. And we went through a little bit of a rough patch internally where we had to make some decisions on how we were going to handle things. And I was talking to my therapist. Let's get deep here. I was talking to my therapist, and I was telling my therapist, like, I'm worried that people are going to judge that I'm putting profit, money over the people. And she's just, worth all her salt. She earned her money in this 1 second. She said, are you not people too? And I was like, I people? What do you mean I people? But she's right. We are people too. And I think a lot of solopreneurs, or even small teampreneurs, if that's a thing, we can forget about us in the relationship between clients and coach or whatever your service is that you're providing. We can forget that we have a stake in it too. And so the next page team is going to get team shirts that says we people too, just to remind us that not only are we sensitive, are we human, do we need soul care and things like that, but also we can add a lot to a relationship. If we look at our clients as partners, as people. When they thrive, we thrive. We can bring that human aspect to the relationship that a lot of, like, we are lucky. I think you and I can agree to that, to have a team like this that we can meet with and is moving in the same direction and has the same set of core values. A lot of solopreneurs don't have that. And I think by hiring us as a publisher, you're hiring us as a partner for like up to a year, if not more. And I think, you and I talking about it shows the vibe of what you get once you come in the doors.
Oh, 100%. Because yes, we have coaching services and publishing services, but we were talking about this the other day. We're not just a coach or anything like that. We are your cheerleader. We are your motivator. We are that person in your back corner saying, you can do this. And we've got your back and we're going to help you and show you how to do this. And I think that's what our team is too. We are always wanting to learn more, always wanting to improve ourselves because we want to be the best we can for our clients and ourselves. And that is a strength in itself. And when we're coming back to thinking about we're people too, it also makes us take a second and realize when we're in meetings and maybe there's a little bit of that internal struggle or strife going on. I know you've seen it on my face a couple of times, and let's be honest, this girl has no poker face. But it's always, you've also noticed that I've taken a beat and been like, wait, this is another person. I am a person. We need to come at it from that instead of always being like, I got a robot up and just business myself. And, we always, sometimes we've had to mask in past jobs, in harder customer service relations and stuff like that. But it's taken a long time, just like you've said about your therapist. I've worked with mine and really dug deep into how do I want this relationship to grow and foster? And is this how I would want to be treated if somebody else were coming to me and dealing with me in a business sense or in a personal relationship sense? And that really always makes me stop and realize that the only way I want to grow is positively with people in my corner who are excited about what I'm doing so that I can be more excited about it, so that I want to share it with other people. I know I was talking with someone the other day and they said, if you don't feel comfortable wanting to share your book with your inner circle and asking them to support you in that way, then you've got to find a new inner circle because those are not your people, because they are not looking at you as a person. They're looking at you as maybe an annoyance or maybe as a burden or something like that. And that's not fair to you or to them. And so really finding your people and those folks who are going to say, hey, we're here, we're going to support you however we can. That speaks to that solopreneur so strongly. You've seen the post on social media, a like, a comment, a share. Those are the things that mean a lot to someone who's in the trenches of a small business or their career, going off on their own and running their own business, whatever they may be. And I think that's the people that we want to work with because they understand it and we do too, because we're right in the trenches with them.
Yeah. It's that community aspect of it, right? Like we get it. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break to talk about the book that we have coming out later this year. And then I want to come back and I want to circle about things that are happening in Next Page and how we are working to be the perfect publisher for entrepreneurs. Are you hoping 2025 will be the year you write your brand-centered book? Or maybe you have a business book that isn't doing what you want? No matter where you are on your entrepreneur journey, we have the secret to your success, and we're going to give it to you for free. In our new book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, we share with you the formula and tools to guarantee your business book is a success. Within the pages of Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, you will learn from the expertise of a nonfiction publisher and the real-life examples of authors who have seen incredible success using our proven strategies. We're also going to give you access to our workbook, where you can tangibly assess where in your business a book can make the biggest impact for you. This book and the companion workbook are specifically built to help entrepreneurs like you write and sell a book that converts readers into clients with the power of artful invitation and deliberate storytelling. At Next Page Publishing, we believe in helping you achieve massive returns on your investments. Your time, energy, skill, and experiences are valuable, and you deserve to create a tool that matches your worth. This book is our gift to you. Visit nextpagepublishing.net/authoryourway to access your free copy today. Now let's get back to our guest expert. Okay, and we're back. So that commercial, the talking about author your way, it's one of the things that I'm most excited about that I've actually done in this publishing house. I've spent 2, 3 years collecting some of the best people in the industry to create business books, but as I've sat back and as I've watched the publishing industry, I have just this feeling, this understanding that publishing was never built for the entrepreneur, but it has so much untapped potential for them. What I mean by that, by the publishing isn't built for the entrepreneur. Publishing centered around book sales. That's all publishing has been about, is how many books can we sell at the end of the day. So when you look at the big five publishers, that's their goal. Their whole marketing plan is sell books, get royalties. But at the end of the day, we are entrepreneurs. We do not think linear, like I can't say it. I can never say the word straight line, linearly. Is
Yes,
that
we don't think linear. We look at it from multiple angles.
angles, right? I mean, I have yet to talk to an entrepreneur that hasn't had five good ideas bubbling behind their eyes. There's just on the surface of things that they want to do. So it doesn't make sense to go into an industry that only has one result in mind. And creating writing author your way was my statement, is my statement to the world that publishers that are set out to set entrepreneurs up for success need to think differently. And I know I have a lot of passion around this, but I'm curious, Erin, as an entrepreneur and like what you're seeing in the industry, how is the Author Your Way brand lining up with what you're seeing?
I think it's lining up with the fact that everything you see on social media, on the news this day is that you have to diversify, whether that's stocks, whether that's your business, the jobs you do. Look at me over here, 5 jobs, Erin, right? You're never in one stream, whatever that may be. And entrepreneurs get that better than anyone because they're the creative minds behind things. They're like, hey, if I do this, then this leads me into 6 different other services or streams that I can offer. And then they'll come back into me kind of deal. And so that's the huge message I keep getting is you can't be just in one thing. Heck, I remember way back in the day when I first started journalism school, one of my professors, who, by the way, all of the professors in J school were industry professionals as well as educators. So they had a firm handle on what the pulse of the business was at that time. They said, you can't just be a writer as a journalist. You have to know radio and video and writing and what it means for ads and short form and long form and magazine and all this in between. And that was day one. And I was just like, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? But
That's so funny.
they were right. And so now I have a little bit of everything thanks to them. And then I figured out what I actually liked too. It's like when you're in high school and you get all of those different options classes to figure out what the heck you want to do with your life. That's kind of what journalism did for me. I know college and universities have open studies and stuff, but when you give somebody in a very condensed program the opportunity to see all of the different ways you could go in terms of your career, that's the best gift you could give anybody because they're doing process of elimination. So now you go to entrepreneurs who might not have that, and then they have to decide, okay, how am I going to decide what's a good fit for me and my business? And that's where we come in. If you've got not even an established business, but a business that you think, I have some really good knowledge and I want to share this in a meaningful way, a book or short form writing into a book is how you get into that because people want to know what you've got going on, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's a book in hand, whether it's on your Kindle, whatever that may be. They want to be able to come back again and again and learn that knowledge and take it in and apply it to their lives, to their businesses as well. But then it also gives the opportunity through that book to come back to you and say, hey, I want to hire you because I haven't figured it all out. Your book gave me a good foundation, but I still need more guidance and more help, whatever that service may be. I'm talking about coaching, I'm talking about leadership guidance, anything in between. I know that we did the co-author book of Run for Your Life, and that gives people different perspectives on what a running journey can look like and why people got motivated to do that. So I think there's always the potential there. And that's why we work in nonfiction, because we're looking for that way that people can take a book and feed it back into their business in the best way possible. And it's also a legacy piece. That's you putting a piece of your soul and yourself out into the world, and it will never go away. And you think about nowadays, I saw an ad, of course, the targeted ads of the algorithm the other day, and it was sit down with your parent or grandparent and learn their story. How many
Mhm.
people do that nowadays, right? No one's writing their huge memoirs and bibliographies of just Joe Schmo down the street. But he's got a ton of knowledge in farming, in maintenance of equipment, and all that stuff. Wouldn't you want a book on that? So that when
Mhm.
that person goes, and they're no longer with us, you still have all of that amazing knowledge, but they've never put it down on paper and they've never wanted to share it. How are they ever going to know? And then if you do it while you're still with us on this plane, wouldn't it be nice for you to say, hey, I want to look this person up and I want to meet with them and I want to learn more from them, whatever that may look like. That's how the greatest partnerships are growing is you see somebody, you see what they're doing, and you say, I really got to know more from this person.
Mhm.
I'm going to call them. I'm going to email them. I want to be with them in their business and shadowing them so that I can be just as good. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we offer through Next Page is saying, we get it. You're an amazing person. You've got the expertise to share it. Let us put that in a format that can reach the masses and not just your immediate community.
Yeah. Exactly, and an understanding how that translates into a system within your business and things like that. I think books are the tip of the iceberg. It's those books that leave you wanting more, that you're like, oh my goodness, I do want to go talk to that person. I want to have coffee with them. I want to, take them out for a lunch or hire them. Best case scenario for a lot of our coaches is the clients, the readers that come back and say, that was really good. I like your style. I like your voice. I like your lessons. You've got obviously have experience in this and I think you can help me. Well, here's my credit card. Like, honestly, that's the best result that comes out of your book. But it's, as a publisher, it's our job to understand that the book is a step in the journey. It is not the whole journey. And I think that's where a lot of publishing companies don't rise up to the plate when it comes specifically to entrepreneurs of seeing the big picture that your book is not, it's not the be all end all. It's not going to turn a a stone cold lead, like someone you've never met, into someone who's willing to drop 20 grand with you. That's just not it. But if you are willing to build the systems around the book, if you're willing to look at your business and go, okay, where does the book fit in? How can I play it into my marketing department, into my funnels, into my all of that, into my affiliates, my referrals, my partnerships? How can I use this one tool to magnify everything that's working and get rid of all the stuff that's not? And that's what we really talk about in Author Your Way is it's called the RAN system because it just has the worst name, but I'm so sorry, that's what it is. It's replace, amplify, and new. What can your book do for you inside your business? Because until you can see it for all the beautiful potential that that book is, it can be really hard to decide or like put not even just money where your mouth is, but like the time that it's going to take. Like we ask for about, if you get into one of our one-on-one programs, it's about a year. And that year is, about 2 to 3 hours a week we ask for from our clients. So it's a commitment. And if you cannot see the big picture, if you cannot see all the ways that beautiful little book is going to make you money, and lighten your load once the year is up, because that is the other goal, right? Like you said, Erin, we people too. Like, what do you need? You cannot work in your business from 9 to 9. It's too much. You have a life, you have a soul to take care of. You need energy refilling. And that, as Next Page Publishing, going into this new year and going into this new way of thinking, that's our main goal. How can we get you more money and how can we give you back some of that work-life balance that let's be honest, is the reason you started this business in the first place?
Oh, heck yes. And if you think about a book as a way of passive income, then that does take some pressure off of you too, because once you get it out into the world, it will be there and available. As long as you build the systems around it, then it will feed back in and it'll take some of the burden and pressure off of you of having to always push out your communication of like why you matter and why people should want to work with you, right? instead of having to write all of this copy and always having to justify your existence in your field, you've done that. That is what a
Hmm.
book is. Like I'm saying, it's a legacy piece of income if you work it the right way. And that's why we're a hybrid publisher for that. We don't look at, okay, let's just put it out. That's traditional publishing. We get it. That's how those bigger companies run. But we want that book to work for you in every aspect of your business. And we have the tools to actually teach you that too. It's not just coaching and writing, it's coaching, writing, considering your marketing, where it will feed into your business, how it will be reciprocal, how a book can expand into other things like podcasts and the audiobook sector and speaking gigs. I, to this day, I admittedly was not the biggest fiction girly for the longest time because I'm all about that fantasy fiction life because I want an escape. But I remember reading, oh, probably in the 2010s region of life, Shake Hands with the Devil by Lieutenant Romeo Dallaire. And it's his journey of uh, his UN peacekeeping mission in Rwanda. And that was the first time someone's life journey and what they did resonated with me. And then, funny enough, a couple of years later, he had a speaking engagement at the university I was studying at. And he probably wouldn't have had that opportunity had he not written about his experiences in his book. And so his military career filtered into a book as well as into speaking engagements. So he had a life to live and to enjoy and to share his knowledge and his experiences with others. And sometimes when you're in one career, you wonder, what will it be after I'm too old to run this business? Or where will I go after this kind of deal? You think about that retirement age and stuff. But if you have a book, then all of that heavy lifting is done. And then when you want to transition a little bit further from your business and let somebody else run day-to-day operations, you can go do those cool speaking engagements and be the expert in your field and sit on those panels and be at those conferences and do the fun stuff of business of
Hmm.
saying, I've done all the hard work already. Now let's celebrate me a little bit and let me share that with other people. And that's something to consider is are you working for your business or is your business working for you? Right? And if
Yes.
you don't have an exit plan for yourself out of your company where you're still fulfilled and you're still enjoying your day-to-day life past retirement, what are you doing? Because you can't work until you're 90 something. I mean, like lots of people do, but is it fun? Is it enjoyable?
Yeah.
Does it fill your soul back up? Or are you just like, man, I just got to keep working because I've got to pay the bills? Our
Mhm.
job is to give you something that pays those bills without you having to work yourself to the bone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have so much to unpack in there because that I talk about that in Author Your Way about your book is not just that external tool, it's also that internal tool. I've been feeding you and our contractors and things pieces of Author Your Way to help them understand the next page brand. So it's not just the external clients that I'm trying to attract with this book, but it's also a training tool. It's a way to convey what my beliefs are on the topic, what we teach, what we're good at to my internal team, so that if they're ever out talking to someone, they know the brand inside and out just as well as I do. So it's good for building your team out. It's good for creating that exit plan that you're talking about, something that if you write the book well, I mean, for a lot of us entrepreneurs in the very beginning, we are the brand and the brand is us. Like we are synonymous. But at some point, we need to start splitting. And if, especially if you're scaling, this is mostly if you're trying to scale up and you're trying to leave a business that is earning you passive income in the hands of someone like your COO, like Erin, for me, while having the income so that I can just focus on the fun stuff, which is talking about what we do, talking about how we're changing the landscape of publishing for entrepreneurs, writing books. That's my zone of genius. And so part of my scaling journey, part of me setting up for the future was giving my team a tool that they can lean back on. It is all of our marketing content for the next 5 to 10 years, I can pretty much guarantee is in that book. If I went and slipped on ice and was unavailable for 6 to 8 weeks, I could give my team that tool and say, this is it. This is the foundation. Just go and sustain the business until I'm ready to come back into it. Let's put that in a better way. Maybe I want to go to Costa Rica for 6 weeks. Let's use that one instead. Let's put that energy out into the world.
Not the negative energy, please. But the other thing I love about Author Your Way is you aren't just claiming it for yourself. You've engaged with us as editors and proofreaders to say, do you want an expert excerpt in this book? And I want your expertise on this. And speaking as one of the person who actually wrote a section for it, I felt so honored to be acknowledged and to be told that what I bring to the table matters. And
Mhm.
circling back to, I don't need the accolades and stuff, but I do like the appreciation and the trust. That's big with me. The honesty and the trust and saying, I want your voice here because you matter is huge.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think I want to talk about Author Your Way so much because it is the flagship for the example of what we're setting for our entrepreneurs of what is possible with your book. So Author Your Way is going to be a two-part series. The first book is Author Your Way to your next 100K. And then the next book is Author Your Way to your million, your first million. Because the evolution of this book, it's got a 5 to 10 year lifespan. I've written it for that, but I've also written it as a bit of a study guide. So Author Your Way to your first 100K, your next 100K is an example of how to write your business book. Like it's a tool all in itself. If someone were to take that book and just study it, line item, okay, this is how she's inviting me into her group. This is how she's using expert resources to amplify her own voice. Like my voice is the author. I believe in collaboration over competition. And I brought in people that are better at what I do technically and said, "Hey, can you lend a voice to this because my opinion is not the only one that matters on this." And I really wanted to demonstrate to future authors, to aspiring authors, all of the ways that we can use our circle, the various ways we can use our skills, how we can use stuff we've already created, like content. I was just talking to a client the other day about her client journey, which is covered in Author Your Way, but how is she inviting people in? How is she expecting, like, where does she expect the book to fit in her client journey once they get through the doors? And we spent, 10, 15 minutes brainstorming. Oh, she does an event every month. She's got a couple of in-person events that she goes to. She's got an email list and things like that. And then as we kept talking, more things kept popping up. Oh, and I have this. And I have this. And by the end of it, we had this huge list of stuff that she didn't even know she had. And that's most solopreneurs are like that. We just generate so much content. And none of it usually works together. It's like this one-off little drop in the pan over in the side. And what Author Your Way is really asking aspiring authors to do is to look at what you've got and
Mhm.
understand how it all links together. At what point in the client journey are you giving them this freebie? So when I looked at Author Your Way, I had to realize that it's not an entrance to our funnel. It's not the very top of like, I wouldn't go to a podcast and say, hey, grab my book. It's actually pretty in depth. It's for the people that are not in the want phase of writing a book anymore. Like, I don't want to write a book. I need to write a book. That's where I needed my readers to be. And so I put the book further down in my funnel. And now I have, 2 to 3 steps above the book, but the book is the qualifier. If you don't make it past the book, if you don't download the book or the free excerpts or any of the resources that come out of the book, then perhaps you are not invested enough to actually invest in a year-long program. That's what it takes to write a good book. And I go through all of this because this is how first of all, I want authors to think, but I also want aspiring authors to know that that's how we are thinking inside Next Page Publishing. When you sign with us, we are thinking about all of these things. What is the big picture? What is the game plan for you for the next 5 to 10 years? Because to your point, Erin, we are working towards something. I would like to work till I'm 90 because I love it, not because I have to. But if you could work really hard for a year. My last year was not great. I worked so hard, which is why I hired you, Erin. And I didn't want to keep doing that. And so I knew that if I worked really hard for 12 months to get this book where it needed to be to support my clients at the same time, but I needed to write, I needed to think with the funnels, the systems, and everything like that. This coming up year, oh, it's going to be so different. It's going to be so different. And that's the question you need to ask yourself. If you worked really hard for a year, but you knew at the other end of it was respite, was balance, was joy, was peace, you got to sit in your zone of genius, would you do it?
And that's the hard question to answer is, do you want easy work for the rest of your life, or do you want a short burst of it's gonna not be super fun and it's gonna be hard, but it's going to be meaningful work? We're not talking about being stuck in a position where you just hate every day. We're talking about you've got to knuckle down and really work at it and not take all of those breaks that maybe you like to take. Maybe you take a power nap instead of a 3 hour one, right? To reset yourself. But we need that level of commitment because we want to help you grow your business. And let's take a little another peek behind next page. You're getting Larissa, creative genius extraordinaire, coach, writer, published author, super successful published author, might I add. And you're getting me as not only running the show behind the scenes for operations, huge marketing experience, tons of editing experience. I'm your line editor till the day I go kind of deal. I love that work. And then you're getting our new team member, Jen, who's going to project manage the heck out of this, but also has tons of experience in being an entrepreneur herself and living that dream of going and getting stuff done when you need to. Like that woman is a go-getter. Oh my goodness. I am so impressed by her tenacity. And she's someone who's going to be in your corner and encouraging you too. Then we've got our other coach, Amy, who is next level wonderful. And she's got the brain to make sure you're on track at all times with also being one of our editors. So notice how every one of us so far has more than one hat, and we love to
Mhm.
wear all those hats. And then we've got Sam. Hey, girl, you're going to be on this soon enough, I'm sure. But we want to give a big shout out to Sam because not only has she really fed into her soul cup, she's also been our doer of all things. And she has shown up time and time again while balancing her life out. And we are so grateful for her always thinking ahead and always saying, I want to learn more. I want to be able to serve our clients better. And I want to be in that marketing headspace too of where can we amplify the business going forward for not only Next Page, but our clients. So
Mhm.
every one of our team members right now, including we've got a bunch of other contractors who are our editors and our proofreaders that we're constantly shuffling in and out depending on the client needs and the personality matches up, our designers too. Our team is so amazing and so diverse, but we're always focused on making things better, making things work for multiple streams, and making sure that the hats we wear, we love and enjoy. Like you said, you don't want to do everything, not day-to-day operations. That's why I'm here. And I love that stuff. But you want to work until you're 90, till you're 100, doing writing, speaking to people, teaching people. And that's the thing. I know it's a cliche thing, but if you love your job, you'll do it
Are you
till the
really
end.
working?
I
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
right?
It's
Are you
so
really
true.
working? You'll do
Yeah.
it till you're tired of it, right? And
Yeah.
you don't get tired of it when you love your job, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be tired of bees. I'll talk about that till the cows come home, right? And so that's why we're here and we're always excited. And that's why we want the people coming to us to be excited too and to be committed because we're in it for the long haul if you are too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we are a pay it forward company in 1,000 ways. I've been on this entrepreneurship journey for what feels like a billion years. It's only been like 3 to 4 years that I've actually been doing this. And every lesson I've learned, I invested over 85 grand in the very beginning, the first year to start this company up. And I can tell you that was money not well spent. But I can tell you every lesson I learned, both in how I want to operate and how I do not want to operate this business, has been paid forward. And Author Your Way is the perfect example of taking the last 3 to 4 years as an author, as a publisher, as an entrepreneur, as a woman, a mom, a friend, all of these things. And how do I create a product that really does move people forward and gives them the solutions that they're looking for? And all of my lumps and bumps are in that book, to be totally honest. I talk about the hardships of the isolation of doing this by yourself, the idea that you need to be the jack of all trades and good at all of it. what that can do to the morale of an entrepreneur who really just started this business because we wanted to make a difference. We wanted to do things. So, Erin, I want to thank you so much for coming on this show. I think you and I could talk forever, and we will definitely have you back on. My favorite question for all of my guests is any advice that you have for aspiring authors?
Ooh, it's so much, right? We could talk forever, as you say, but I think my biggest advice for aspiring authors is trust the process and trust the people who are in your corner, whether that's your friends, your family, the company that you've hired to help publish or market with. Those people are there for a reason. And I really like what Larissa always brings to the table in terms of if it feels like it's hard and you're constantly trying to push through it, it's not meant for you. And to always have that in the back of your mind, if something's not working when you're writing, if it doesn't feel like it's fitting, if you're really just pulling teeth to get something to work or to get a concept down on paper, it's not the right fit. And you need to sit back with yourself and be like, what do I really want to say with this? I know I've met with some of our co-authors in the past, and I think the biggest thing is you're not always going to like what your editors have to say, but we're here to make you better. And I know it's such a struggle, and I know Larissa struggled with that too, but I'm never there to hurt your feelings or to make life more difficult. I just want to make your book and you as good as it possibly can be. And I'll leave you with this quote that I say to all clients, no matter what business I'm in, is I'm happy to help. And that's that.
And that's that. Thank you very much, Erin. Thanks for tuning in to I Wrote That. Don't forget to download your free copy of Author Your Way to kickstart your journey as an entrepreneur. You'll find the link in today's show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It helps more listeners like you discover the show. Until next time, happy writing.